This is going to be a little bit of an odd video, and I've been thinking about this for about 2 weeks. And I almost didn't make this video. But opportunities right here. I want to let you know what I see. I want to share with you. Yep, okay. We've had a thing going on. It still hasn't hit bottom, but it's gonna. But here's what's gonna come of it. How many of you have wanted to start something more on your own, or want to make extra money, want to better yourself? That all dictates on how much risk are you willing to take. When I was younger, I did a lot of risk taking. Some of it worked, some of it didn't. But here, I'm not an economic analyst. I'm a poor man sharing a little poor man information. This is what this is about. I'm not saying this information is correct. This is how I see it because I've seen it many times. The difference this time, it isn't happening slow. It's happening fast. So things are going to be rapidly changing in our near future. And I want to take advantage of that. And I want you that want to do that also be able to. So you need to know the facts the way I see it. We will have a fairly good economic bounce back. Along with that is going to be inflation to some degree. Okay, what that does is that devalues the American dollar. It makes it where that the long term and the short term both foreign countries buy our product. We want that. We're survivors. This is just a hiccup. But I'm going to tell you what happens when you have good economic growth at a steady rate. The small guy ain't got a chance of burrowing his way in and try to start something on his own. He can't do it. It's riskier because the established businesses have their market share. It's hard to go in as a small guy and compete against that. Let's use contracting, just basic contracting. Let's real broad based. Let's use that. I'm talking about all blue collar. I'm not talking about these people are going to make millions because they can read the future and have got millions to spend to make more millions. I'm talking about you guys out there that share the same life we got, and that's just learning how to be who we are. We're the ones with the skill sets, the physical skill sets. We work for somebody that doesn't have them but has the money. Okay? You're going to see larger contractors take a downturn. This is just one facet. You can take this and apply it to anything you have an interest in. They have to have cash flow to operate. Right now, everything's in a dumpster. They're getting through it. They're going to do just beautifully. They have to do a restart, a financial restart. Okay? They're going to, in some cases, have to go, let's say they have 30 people employed. They have to drop back temporarily, just temporarily, to maybe a dozen. They're going to have to take equipment that's paid for and liquidate to develop cash flow to reinvest back in themselves. Let's reinvest in ourselves. I don't care if it's just physically getting in a better mood, looking and saying, hey, this isn't bad, this is good for me. I have an opportunity. Let me tell you something. Educate yourself on what you want to get into. My dad, my gramp, shared one philosophy way back. And it works to a point still. It was, if you really want to be a success, you get into something that nobody else can do and get good at it. Or something nobody else wants to do and get good at it. That still exists. Not to the point it used to. But it still exists. Hard work goes a long way. That's one thing. Now, there's several. This could be a 2-hour video in just that quick. So I'm going to just hit the high spots. This is not meant to be naturally a morale booster. I want to just wake you up and let you see where things are going to be for you, possibly, if you want it. Yeah, you'll get called back to work. That'll be good. And I bet you're glad for it. I've been taking this last week to look at where this is going for my future come fall. What am I going to be doing then? What do I need to be doing? What kind of a niche market can I get into? This is important for me because everything that I normally do this time of year, down a dumpster. Yeah, camping out, waiting it out. That's what you're doing. Smart. Social distancing works. We're going to get through this temporarily, but let's look at the longer term. Let's look at, hey, by midsummer, fall, what am I going to be doing? This is your time to plan. My son told me this morning something that was profound, and I knew it. Do you realize, for all of us older farts that are used to having to read in a book or listen to somebody that was older to tell us what their experiences were and teach us, all human knowledge is right at your fingertips. This is the internet age, big time. You can learn. You can look. I don't care if it's YouTube videos or you're looking up historical facts or whatever. Out of everything bad, something good happens. Let's make good stuff happen for all of us. Us poor people. We got a chance. We got one opportunity on this. Opportunity knocks. Are you going to listen to it? Listen to your grandparents talk about when, in rough times, what they had to do to get through it. Because it's been about 5-6 times in my life that I've seen it. And anywhere from a kid that was aware to a young adult paying attention and scared. Your grandparents will tell you, if I would have known then what I know now, I would have took and done this or that or another thing. Or they'll share with you what they did do that made them a success. Nobody is going to come off the bottom swinging. You got to earn your way. You do. You really do. I'll tell you what I see for general consumers. If that's where you want to be, fine, that's great. Restaurants are taking a beating, but so aren't the automobile dealerships. You watch what happens come fall. You're going to be able... You ever dream about just having some small mom and pop restaurant or something? You might have an opportunity because it is market share. Some are going to drop. Some are going to be huge successes. But I'll tell you the one thing that will happen, you're going to see the interest rates being fairly low in the future. You're going to see small business loans and grants crop up. That makes it good for the economy. It also gives the government more borrowing power, which props it up. Okay, let's not just put sticks on everything. Let's build a solid foundation right now for our future. I love you guys, and I want you to do great. I want you to have these opportunities. Do you know what's going to happen? Let's say you got your old car or truck that, because of times, really needed to be in a shop. Now it's not, because you got to hold on your cash. You don't know what to do. And you know you'd like to have a better vehicle anyways. Okay, wait it out. This is perfect time to wait this out. Because when the 2021 model years come out, all of these 2020 vehicles that haven't sold, you're going to see major rebates. You're going to see lower interest. You're going to be able to step into last year's model fairly easy. You're going to be able to get the 2021s a little easier. You're going to see housing market, property. You'll have a better chance if you thought about purchasing your own home to get into this, but you have to make a living doing it. You have to be fluid. If your company you work for is booming at that time, you got no problem. But let's target the guy that's had a dream for 10 years, and he's smart enough to know that he had no room to get into it. There's no room. You're going to have room. There's going to be gaps in all businesses, all of them. Service industry. You're going to have places there. If you work on furniture or furnaces and air conditioning for somebody else, jump. There's going to be room. Bigger businesses are going to collect more toward the cities. If you live in a rural environment like us, there's an opportunity. Are you going to be a success? How much time do you want to put into it? Do you have somebody that can help you with bookkeeping? Do you know your local rules and regulations? This is stuff you have to think about. Like right now, I'm geared toward logging and sawmilling, and that's just me. I'm going to be able to come out of this. If I so choose, I can buy a log skidder for half price. Guaranteed. Yeah, no kidding. It's affecting everything. This is good for me. In the future, let's say I want to get back into sawing. It's there. There's room. When you close the border from Canada to the U.S., and you close the U.S. lumber producing mills, or you downsize them, that leaves room for the guy with a small mill to take over. Now, yeah, okay, there's the regulations against you on dimension lumber. Well, guess what? Out in the country, boy, the barns need repairing. You're going to see people putting up sheds, barns, small garages, things like this. This is what you're going to see. So, no, that's just one little facet. But take some of this and put it into your life on what works for you. What do you want to do? You don't get opportunities very often. Take one. Do it. Let's say you want your regular job back, but you want to make extra money. Find a way. This is a good time coming out of this, once this is over, to start forming alliances with other people. Form strong ones. Alliances are broken and made every day in the world, even in politics. This is a good time coming out. Not right now, but coming out. Plan this. Take this opportunity to learn who your family is. They're looking right at you. If you're the head of the household or the matriarch, patriarch, they're leaning on you right now. Tell them good news, because this is truly good news. Things aren't going to be the same. There's always change. It'll be better. And I believe that. I truly, truly believe that. Invest in our youth. I'm telling you, do that. You know why I ride dirt bikes? Because I can. I haven't closed my mind to the fact that, at my age I shouldn't be on them. Nah, I should. Because that's me. That may not be you. Does our old bones break? Sure do. I know I broke enough when I was young. And that probably didn't get any better, did it? Nah. But I'm more padded now. So I can probably bounce better. I'm probably not too good at free falling. That's probably would get me. So now that we know our economy is in a free fall, let's catch ourselves. Let's catch ourselves right now and plan that next move. What do you want to be? It is going to be about risk versus reward. It is. If you want to just jump and go into something head first. Big companies are made out of small companies. This is the way it is. Plain and simple. You, right there, I'm talking to you, are the guy that can pull this off if you've had that dream. If you need to just wait this out, return to your regular job, do that if that's what makes you tick. But if we want to help our future economy be stronger and better than it ever was, we need to start planning, doing better, working harder. We might have to accept less monies. you're working on your own. There's going to be a lot of places people are needed. This isn't a bad time. Let's use contracting because that's something I understand. That small guy that's still hanging in there, and some of the bigger guys are kind of collapsing and downsizing, make a friend of him. Go help him for a day or two here or there. See what that develops. Or maybe you have enough equipment and knowledge in one area, and you know a guy that has it in another area, and if you've done a collaboration, it makes you stronger and it brings you up. That can happen. The one thing I will guarantee failure from is doing absolutely nothing. That doesn't get you anywhere. Look at the people that went through World War II. They really banded together. The world did. And this is what it's going to take. The world. And they helped each other and they propped each other up. Remember, the old timers will tell you about victory gardens. It was encouraged that even though we didn't have any economic problems per se, there were shortages. They had victory gardens. Great. We love canning. That's not going to change for us. We can a lot. We preserve food. No, we're not hoarders. We just know what it takes to get us through from one time to another. And so nothing changes there. I'm not all about economic doom. I'm not. I'm looking at economic advancement. This right here is teaching us as Americans and the rest of the world that's watching who we really are. Keep your eyes wide open and learn from this and listen to your grandparents about what they could have done. I told you that. Yep, I did. If you've invested in your retirement or stocks, stay in. This hasn't been a slow decline. Just stay right in. Don't do nothing. You might have a guy that is pretty sharp and he can kind of shuffle you around a little bit because he knows what the future brings. Do you notice the gas prices? Yeah. How many of you actually understand why them gas prices are doing what they're doing here in the U.S.? They're dropping like a stone, aren't they? Yeah, we know. OPEC's controlling things. No, that's not exactly what's going on. We are not driving much. That means that the normal amount of fuels that we would burn that here are existing, we have a supply that has to keep coming in, otherwise we have a rebound. It's not being used. You have to liquidate. Gas prices will go down. Your key to know when things are turning, the gas prices are going right back up. Normal. Expect it. Good. That means things are, even though that sucks, we'd like to take advantage of cheap gas all the time, wouldn't we? Or cheap diesel fuel. No, I want gas to be where it was in January, 1st January. That's where I want gas to be. Because that tells me that if I've already put my plan into place and fuel returns back to that price, things are getting stable and I got a chance. Yes, I do. I have many chances. You wouldn't believe how many chances a poor guy gets. If you're listening. That's what I'm going to say about that. You're going to see small business loans increased, easier to get. You're going to see business loans from your local bank, the little guy. You're going to see them investing in some people. And this is what I know. It's just going to be a fact. Stupid video, ain't it? It ain't. I got a reason I'm posting this one. There is going to be businesses that are forced to close. It's going to be the ones that were just at the point where they was too debt heavy and probably weren't going to make it in the first place. But everything was brand new and the only way they could keep going is to keep borrowing And the financial institutions know they're too big. They have to keep funding them. Well, that chain's going to be broke. And there's going to be a gap. The minute this guy falls out, 4 more smaller guys are going to step in. It's just like a train wreck. That's what it is. It's just like a train wreck. Take advantage of that. Do you know how many times in bad times the only way I can make a living is when I got out of work, I went and cut me some firewood and split fence posts. Because in my region, that was something people needed. What is it in your region? What do people need? Okay, the next step that happens when people all of a sudden start becoming confident. It goes from what do people need to what do people want. There's your real money. What do people want when we get to that stage? Time frame, yeah, I kind of got a targeted time frame when all this is going to happen. I'm not going to share that at this point. It's no secret. You can figure it out on your own. You can see. But it isn't going to take a long time. You got about probably 1 year that things will be affected even on a small scale. And things are going to be rock and roll, you know. It's going to be bump and grind for a bit. You know. But look, I want to tell you something. You remember, I'm talking to all you guys my age, or even 10 years younger. Let's say you're 50 or above. Look at the crap you've seen happen already. What did people do to get through it? Who made the money coming out of it? Who made the money? The opportunist made the money. He was sitting there waiting the whole time for this to happen, so he had a shot at this. That's the one that did it. And he worked hard. And he made it on himself. Yes, he did. And he formed his alliances he needed to. He broke them when it was necessary. This is a state of affairs in the world since the beginning of time. You can carry that right back to the caveman days. You can. I think some of this has probably been blown out of proportion, but if I would take the lesser of two evils, I'd rather have it blown out of proportion a little bit rather than to be neglected and say, oh, it's all right. No, it hasn't been. My little world's been affected, same as yours. It's been chaotic. Strange things are going on in the world, but this is it. This isn't like a world war. This isn't like a depression. It's just not. It is an economic downturn that's rapid, and it's going to come right back just as fast. So your window of opportunity is going to stay in there for a while. It really is. Because some places aren't going to grow at their normal rate. They're just going to lock up and just see where this is going. And like I said, some are going to go out or downsize. And it's a normal state of affairs. It's always been that way. It really has. This is the first time I've ever had to make a video and have a little cheat sheet. There was too many. I had to stop and think about this for a while of what to say because I don't want negativity now. I didn't want it in any way. I want positivity. But there's one thing I'm positive. Right here, invest in your young people. They're not as stupid as you think. You think that they don't have the drive or enthusiasm. You don't think that they're the risk takers. You don't think they're smart enough. Well, I'm going to tell you something. When I went up and was a guest speaker at that BOCES class, I learned something right there that I already knew. I normally get to talk to young people one-on-one a lot, as I'm fascinated by them. Because I was one of them, it was just yesterday. And I relate to them better than people my own age, honestly, because I don't have a closed mind to things. If I do, you're not getting through it. Not until something opens my eyes. But I'm willing to listen. These kids are socially repressed. We did it to them. We said, oh, you couldn't never do anything we did when I was your age. I was out doing this, blah, 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 blah. They didn't have that opportunity, maybe. Or maybe you keep beating up our youth. You know what you got? They're our future. Do we want beat up youth? No, we don't want beat up youth. They're taking over. Look at the young people that have managed to band together, form a small business, and make it run. Just fly. They do internet sales. They do everything. They know. They're more educated than we were. Not just physical education. They just plain know more about the world. We had small worlds, didn't we, when we were young? We knew just that. Those of you that went to the military were shocked, weren't you? When you realized what the world really was, you were shocked. Them kids are numb to it. They already know. They don't have to do all that. I'll tell you right now, if you got a grandson or a son that you know is a hard worker and energetic and needs a chance and he's got an idea, give him that chance if you can. Help them. There's something to that older and wiser. There really is. We can coach them, but let's not impede them. We want them to be all they can be. Yeah, I know. You can join the army to get that, can't you? Ain't the same. You pick up habits, good and bad, trust me.
Let me touch on something.
Yeah.
All right, this is where I come in, because I completely agree with what he's saying about our youth. They're the future. They're the ones that are going to determine what industries stay alive, which ones die. Okay? And do they have the skills that your grandfather? No, they don't. They sure don't. Can they get them? Yeah, they do. Do they want them? Yeah, they do. The people that you see on the internet, these young kids doing stupid stuff, that's not the vast majority of millennials or Generation Y or whoever, you know. Every generation always discounts the generation after them. It happened to you, it happened to your granddad, it happened to his granddad, but in different ways. These kids have different resources than you had available when you were their age, too.
More resources.
Different, though. They have the technological resources that you never had. Problem is, they don't have the physical skills that you had.
Let's give it to them. Let's give it to them.
See, I grew up in a split between two generations. I had the phone on the wall attached to the roundy cord, and your mom would beat you with it when you got bugging her when she's on the phone. We had record players. We put cassette tapes in the little player and punched them when their song came on the radio. I still did all that. The big TVs, you turn them on, they go boom, you know. And I also had the internet. Even when it was loud and made funny noises and you couldn't make a phone call on it. I grew up to that too. And also now, with the internet and the access to communication at your fingertips. I grew up through all of that. So if we could just combine what you guys know and what younger people know, there would be no stopping us on anything we ever wanted to do. Just give them a chance. They want the chance. Give it to them. That's my little piece.
I'm going to shake my own son's hand. Guess what? I knew when he was 10, he was my future. How you like that one? I knew it. I invested in him when he came to live with me. He came to live with me when he was 16. Okay? He did. Yeah, come from a broken marriage thing. That's the way. That's life. Get beyond it. Did I do the whole, gee, that sucks, poor me, I'm never giving nobody a chance? Nah, he's my future. Look where he's at. He's doing good, isn't he? People do the same thing. Listen what he says. He is an intermediary between my generation and the young generation. He sees both sides.
Yep.
That's what he sees. He sees both sides. So, knowing that we are going to have massive opportunities coming out of this, I want you to exercise that right. Okay? It does come with responsibility. But you know that little neighbor kid that's tearing around on a skateboard or on his bicycle and upsetting you? Guess what? He's going to be taking care of you when you're old. I want him educated. Take a minute to talk to him and just see who he really is. You're probably going to get the wall first. Boom!
You'll find out they're a lot smarter than you think they are.
Way smarter. They need that opportunity.
Someone to
They need
show 'em.
that chance. They need you to show them. Our handset skills of old skills are fantastic for us.
They're important.
But our youth is more important than that. Because the old ways always have a way of falling by the wayside as new technologies, new people, and newer thinking comes in. This is what's important. People, I gotta go because I got things to do. Crazy video. I'll probably get demonetized for this. Then you know what?
At least on one video.
I don't even care. Because I shared what I was thinking with all my friends and family right here on YouTube. YouTube is an awesome thing. It really is. Okay, that's it. Goodbye.